Hi, Joe. Thanks for being here.
Hello, Justine. You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I just wanted to take an opportunity to introduce you to our online community. So I'd love to hear from you how you got on your plant path and what you're doing, what you have to offer our community. And I'd love to hear about your experience in the Herbalist Collaborative.
Sounds great. So let's see. Gosh, my herbal path. I would say that in a way, I was kind of like maybe like born into it. Like it's something that runs pretty heavily through my family, through my ancestry. My mom immigrated here when she was in her 20s. My father's family is from the south of Italy. And we are a mix of mostly Southern Italian, Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, and North African. And so my grandparents, my father's side, moved here when they were probably in their 30s or whatever, and they had land. They were both farmers, and I ended up actually growing up on that very small kind of like farm that was left to my father. So it was just in our tradition, kind of like food has always kind of been a central thing, and has always been kind of how you nurture yourself. And those dishes always included lots of herbs, lots of spices. Everything was, grown and homemade and everything like that. So it was just kind of a way of life for us. And I spent an awful lot of time on that land. And so I developed a more intimate bond, I guess, with the plants and the trees and the fruits and everything that was growing around us. Um, Later on, when I was a young adult, I decided that I wanted to connect with my ancestry a little bit deeper. So I moved to Italy. And it was really then, like in my mid 20s, I would say, where I developed a more academical relationship with herbalism. There's an herb shop literally on every corner, and it is just a way of life there. It's just even the pharmacies have herbal remedies, they have homeopathic remedies, they have naturopathic remedies. It's just kind of a way of life. And I started studying a little bit more in depth when I was there. And then when I moved back to the States in 2005, I decided to really take it a little bit more seriously and develop like clinical skills and a more scientific approach to herbalism, because I kind of felt like the intuitive part has always been there for me. So I started studying a little bit more in depth when I moved back here in 2005. Done many programs. You never stop learning. I'm always involved in some program or another. And so I would say that's pretty much how it began. And I'm also a creative person and an artistic person. And so I've always done creative and artistic things. That's what led me to study cosmetology when I was really young, too, because for me, the beauty part of it is also really important. And that aspect, being a creative person and wanting to do something artistic, but still having an intimate connection with people, is what led me to kind of choose that path as well. And so during the pandemic, I finally got my diploma in cosmetic science and cosmetic formulation. And so I'm kind of like bridging both of those worlds at this point in on my path, let's say, on my herbalist path. So I'm doing both.
Hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. I've always been curious about because I know we worked together for a while, so I know about some of your training that you've had, but what kind of training did you do for herbalism? It's what philosophy was it?
So basically, I'm in the vitalist tradition. I've studied both, like I said, very like when I first started to really, really study academically, I studied with Michael Ford, who at the time had a school called Apollo Herbs. He was my first real teacher, and I did 3 different programs with him. And he has a degree in pharmacognosy, so his approach was very scientific, and I felt like I needed that at that time because, like I said, everything else for me was already there, like the intuitive piece, the traditional piece, that was already there. Um, and so from that, I kind of have morphed and fallen back on a bridge of both. And so I've been a student of Paul Bergner's. I've been a student of Sarah Corbett through Rowan and Sage. I've I am a student and have been a student of Seja Popham through the School of Evolutionary Herbalism. I've done all of those programs. And I love that because it bridges the astroherbalism and the vitalism and the science all together in one place.
Mhm.
So I feel like that is the school that has resonated with me the most.
Okay.
So I would consider myself a vitalist as
Yeah.
far as my herbalism. I take the vitalist approach. And I also am strongly tied to alchemical principle. It's in my, um, let's say, ancestral
Hmm.
path, in my ancestry. And so astroherbalism is a big thing. Alchemy is a really big thing. I use alchemical principles when I'm formulating, whether it be self-care, whether it be a tea blend, whatever it is.
Nice.
So
Yeah, nice. So, do you want to share about what your offerings are now if people are interested in contacting you?
sure. So I work at a clinic 2 mornings a week. I work at a clinic called Holistic RI where I actually do intake. So if anybody's interested in doing that, the intake is usually about a 2 to 2.5 hour process. There's lots of questions, and depending on where you stand, if you are a person that is also comfortable with the whole medical astrology piece, I will also look at your birth chart and incorporate your birth chart into the intake process. If you're not comfortable with that, we can take a very academical approach to that as well. I'm comfortable in both realms. I'm comfortable in the science, and I'm also comfortable in the more esoteric, if you will.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
And
And
shop, I have an herb shop here in Providence. It is both an herb shop and a cosmetics lab. And so I love even helping people design a very simple tea blend just because it tastes good. When I do that, I definitely will incorporate energetic balance to that so that it won't sway the constitution in either direction, not too cooling, not too warming, unless that's what you need. And then I would sway you more to do an intake. But even if it's just a simple blend to enjoy at night, we can do that together. If you need a body product and you want it to be more specific, we can do that together here at the lab. It's also a little gift shop, so there's lots of like little different things. And I have a host of workshops and classes for the fall and for the winter as well. So
that's
I would encourage everybody to sign up for the newsletter.
Yeah, absolutely. And congratulations on opening your herb shop. I was able to come to your opening, and I keep thinking about just how your aesthetic sense is like so on point. And I bought like this little spoon from you and this mug, and they just continue to bring me joy every day because of how beautiful they are. So you really
Well,
have talent and a gift when it comes to beauty.
thank you. I mean, it is something, I think, like I said before, as a child, I've always been a creative and I'm an artist. I almost went to art school, but I chose a different path because I did want to work more with people. And so I chose the human as my canvas, right? And this is why I went into cosmetology when I was really young. But I grew up painting and drawing and playing music. I was a violinist as a child,
Wow.
and you know beauty has always been a really important piece as far as healing is concerned, because it's intimate and it's vulnerable. We all feel vulnerable around these things. And so I really love working with people and creating beautiful things because it does make your heart feel good in a moment of sadness. And it does help in a moment of illness too, to have something that is just beautiful.
Yeah,
It can help, it can really help.
absolutely. I love that. And I love that you've just so beautifully combined those two worlds too. And yeah, you really just you have a gift.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely. Yeah, so I'd love to hear about your experience with the Herbalist Collaborative so far and how you've liked it.
I love it.
Oh,
I absolutely love it. This has been such a blessing in my life too, because I feel like so going back to like when I was living in Italy, and I was there for 16 years, and like I said, herbalism's a little bit different there because it's just so ingrained in the culture. It's not something that's kind of separate. And like I said, you can literally find an herb shop on every corner, like of the city. I mean, it's just part of the culture. And so when I was there, I kind of felt like it, it was really just easy. It was easy. And when I came back here, I almost felt, and I've expressed this to you a few times, alone in it almost. Like it's been really difficult to find my community. It's been really difficult to find a supportive community, even a little bit around herbalism here.
yeah.
It just feels different. It's just different. It's practiced differently. It's just different.
Mhm.
So the Herbalist Collaborative actually makes me feel really at home because we share so much. And we all bring something really wonderful to the table, and we're all eager to learn from one another. And it doesn't feel like there's like a separateness to it. It just feels really, it feels like community.
Yeah.
And I've been really wanting that in my life. So I feel like this has been such a blessing for me.
Oh, well, you and me both. That's exactly why I created it, and it's a blessing for me as well. So I'm so glad that you're a part of it. Yeah, and I love hearing your story. I love how your story ties so intimately with your ancestry. And that's actually something I really didn't know about you until we worked into the Herbalist Collaborative together. So it's just such a
Right.
nice space to come together with this kind of common interest and in a supportive way. Yeah, so thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to share or let people know about?
I would love to see you all in my new shop, and hopefully you can sign up for some classes and workshops. I'm hoping to also, at some point offer the space up to you guys, and hopefully we'll be able to create something together as far as that's concerned too. Like some whoever wants to teach a workshop or class, or just come by and have some tea.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Absolutely. Well, I will post all of your contact information on Instagram and thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Justine.
Hey.
I'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye.